Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Kemi, and I'm here to talk about Beyond the Gates, episode 60 and 61. So this is Tuesday and Wednesday's episode. Since Memorial Day was a holiday, so we didn't get a new episode, which boo. So we see Kat and Chelsea, and they're at Uptowns, and they're discussing what's been going on in their lives. They're also talking about their like a purse, one of the purses that that they're getting ready to sell or put on the market or whatever. And Chelsea is telling Kat about how she struck out with Allison, and then she also told her parents. Well, she told Dani and the grandparents that she came out to them or whatever, and that they were proud of her, and she was throwing digs at her mama as always. I really feel like Chelsea is her mom's biggest op, but we'll get there. So, they're talking about that, and Kat's letting her know, of course they'd be proud of you and they wouldn't shun you or anything like that, because Martin's gay. So if you are or you're bi or whatever, they're still gonna love you. They're still gonna be rooting for you. So you're good. So then they discuss Kat and Tomas, and Kat is basically telling Chelsea how Tomas keeps trying to get her to, like, he keeps picking Ava's side or whatever. And Chelsea is just like, I mean, he's only been here a minute. He has no room to say anything. He don't, he has no room to say anything. Like, he doesn't get an opinion, but he is right. And Kat's just like, excuse me, do you want to be on my list of people I don't like? Because there's room. And Chelsea was just like, that is your sister, so you're gonna have to, like, you're gonna have to get, like, come to terms with that. That's your sister, and that's my cousin. And it's like, nah, that's not your cousin. That's she ain't no Dupree. She's a Richardson, so she would be your cousin through marriage. Yes, she would be your cousin through marriage, but not by blood. So she's not your cousin, because if the Nicole and Ted get a divorce, you ain't got no relations to that girl. So what are you talking about, Chelsea? No. So Tomas shows up, and Chelsea is just like, all right, y'all talk. I gotta go. So she leaves. Tomas sits down, and Kat is like, she's giving him attitude or whatever. And he's just like, like, what's up? What's going on? So she says, like, you really, she says something to the effect of, like, you really don't know me or something like that. And he was just like, well, you don't know me either. And so she starts to, like, try to go through his IG to see, like, get to know him or whatever, but he don't have nothing up. So they start to talk, and then he tells her that he's part of this, like, Big Brothers program or whatever, because she sees a picture of a little boy. And he tells her, like, yeah, I'm part of this Big Brothers program. I've been, like, that's been my little bro for like 5 years now. And it's that's why I understand Eva, because I can see that, like, I can see the lost little girl in her, the one who doesn't know who her father is. That's why he has so much sympathy towards her. And Kat's letting him know, like, yeah, you got sympathy towards her, but, like, don't put that on me. Like, I have the right to distrust Eva because of what she's done to my family, and I shouldn't feel bad for not liking her, or I shouldn't be made to feel bad for, or made to be the bad person because I don't trust her after what she's done. Like, and it's true. It's like, Eva has done nothing to make up to the family for what she did to them. Like, why everybody keeps trying to push Eva on Kat is beyond me, because it's like, for one, Kat's been right from jump. Like, Eva ain't been right. Like, she was up to something. Kat was right about it. And now that it's all said and done, no one has apologized to her for not believing her. They're again not believing her when it comes to this whole Leslie and Eva running Laura off the road. And it's just like, to a certain extent, yes, Leslie did do it. Eva had nothing to do with it. So that one, you're pulling at straw. So I understand, but simmer down a little bit, Kat. Like, focus mainly on Leslie, not Eva. But again, I understand why she does not like her. Like, again, she hasn't liked her from the beginning. The fact that she is a product of an affair, although, like, Kat wasn't around or whatever when it happened, but she is still a product of an affair. So now this is a new family member that I'm supposed to get used to, I'm supposed to love and supposed to treat like a sister, when she's done nothing but hurt my family. Like, no, I'm not going to trust her, and I don't like her. And there's not, who's to say that I ever will like her? Because again, you came in wrong. Like, and people need to stop like coming at Kat like she needs to get over it, because it's like y'all have gotten over it way too quickly. No. So Kat and Tomas decide that they're gonna they agree to get to know each other better, and like take things right, like not slow, but to take things the right way. So Kat's gonna start asking more questions about him, and he's gonna start asking more questions about her, so he doesn't think that she's spoiled. So we also see Bill and Haley. So they're at the country club. So they're at the country club. Hold on one second. Okay, sorry. So we see Bill and Haley at the country club, and they run into Tomas. And Bill's asking Tomas what happened in the meeting, because I guess he's just coming from the meeting with the ladies who sue the firm. And Tomas is like, "You want me to tell you right now in front of Haley?" And he's just like, "We don't keep secrets from each other, but y'all do, but whatever." And he was like, "Haley is not, she's not too fond of what I'm doing, but she's okay." And she's just like, "Hmm." And it's just like, "Girl, shut up. Like, you are okay with it, because if you weren't okay with it, then you would do something to stop it, but you have yet to do anything to stop it. So you are okay with it, no matter how much you say, 'Oh, I'm not okay with it. I can't believe you're doing this.' You're okay with it, because you're not stopping it." So Tomas is just like, I'll get the meeting notes to you, at the beginning of the day." And Bill's just like, "No, before the end of the night." And threatening him so that he could like hurry up and do it, so that he could put him in position. That's what Bill is saying, like, basically, because he's basically threatening Tomas with telling him all this information, so that he could move him up the ladder in the firm or whatever. So Bill and Haley go sit down, and I guess they're there for like an event for him, or they're getting ready to go to an event for him. I'm not really too sure why they're there, but they're there, and Haley is like, just like throwing a fit. She's complaining about him being a lawyer and her being the second wife, and her always having to come second to everything. If he doesn't get pulled aside by lawyers or cases, or it's his daughters, or it's Dani, or it's something else, she's like complaining about all of this. And Bill is just like, "What's going on? What's wrong?" And she's just like, "I'm pregnant." And then he's just like, "Huh?" And then she gets mad at him because of his initial reaction. And she's just like, "Oh my God, see, you're not even excited." And it's just like, girl, the way you threw it out is just like, are you really pregnant? Like, I don't believe it that you're pregnant. I don't believe you're pregnant, because, like, first of all, it's how long has it been since y'all been trying? Because initially you thought you were pregnant, you found out that you weren't, and then y'all started trying. I feel like that was just like a week ago. Ain't no way you found out that soon. It ain't been that long. There's no way that you're pregnant. Girl, stop. Quit lying. So he's just like, after he's like come up, he's off of the shock um of the fact that she said she's pregnant or whatever. And she's just like, "Oh, it's a good thing you never we never stopped at college fund." And da da da. And it's just like, girl, you didn't do nothing with the college fund. You ain't got no money. You What money do you have? You came into this marriage with nothing, honestly, because the money that you did have was courtesy of him, because you worked for him. So you came in with nothing, really. Whatever. So they're talking about that, and Chelsea overhears, because Chelsea left Kat, and she overhears this, and she was just like, "I know I didn't hear what I just heard." And Haley is all like smug, like, yes, I'm pregnant and you're going to have a new brother and sister. And Chelsea is just like, girl, you thought you was being shunned before. Just wait. You and that baby gonna be shunned for life. What you think? What you thought this was? What? And so, um, what's it called? Haley is just like, oh, what? You thought mommy and daddy were gonna get back together? And Chelsea was just like, what do you know about that? Aren't you an orphan? Or what do you know about that? You ain't got no mommy, basically. And Bill chastised her and was just like, enough. Like, that's not nice, Chelsea. And Haley's over there being all condescending to her, and he ain't say nothing. And I was just like, and that's why your daughters don't like you. Like, you let your child bride talk down to your daughter. Like, are you okay, Bill? No, you're not okay. Clearly, we know you're not okay. So we also see, oh, we see Martin and Smitty talking in this episode. So, the last time we had seen them, they were at Orphe Jean's, and that was last week when Martin, Smitty, Samantha, and Vernon were eating at Orphe Jean's, and then Smitty sent them on so he could talk to Martin. So basically, Smitty is just like, what's up? Because Bill done came to me, he summoned me, and he's like talking to me like, you're hiding something, so I need to know what's up. Like, what's up? So Martin gaslights and lies to him, of course. And he's just like, don't listen to him. He's just mad because he wants favors from me, and he's no longer going to get them because he's not part of the Dupree family, and X, Y, and Z. And then he's just like, okay, I gotta go. I'll see you when I get home. So he leaves. But before he leaves, Smitty is just like, okay, he was just like, I can't believe I played into Bill's hands, X, Y, and Z. And so again, Martin says he has to go because he has to go vote on some bill or something like that. So he leaves, and Martin's looking like, I can't believe it. So we see we see Jessica and Samantha, because Jessica came over to the house, and she's telling Samantha, I like Tyrell. I don't know how to approach it or whatever. And Samantha was just like, make the first move, like approach it. So Tyrell comes down because he was about to ask Samantha a question, and he was just like, oh, Jessica, what are you doing here? And Samantha makes up an excuse saying like, oh, she needs some help with the test that y'all have in the morning and whatever. So that's how he was just like, all right, let me go get some snacks so we can study. So they start to study, and as they're studying, he finds like a little um like a sticky note or whatever of some kind of formula that she was trying to figure out, and she like had it really like down packed, so they were talking about it, and he's just like, you don't really need me. And she was just like, no. And then she kisses him, and I was just like, oh, they're so cute. So we also see Anita and Tracy talking. So again, Anita had apologized to Tracy. Tracy wasn't having none of it. She's throwing all these little slick remarks. And Anita was just like, all right, okay, since you want to keep talking, you want to keep being all of that and extra whatnot, you can go. Thank you. Bye bye. And Tracy's just like, wait, so she was just like, typical Anita, you run when the going gets tough or whatever. And Anita was just like, girl, I apologize. Let me apologize again. So she apologizes again. And Tracy was just like, okay, well, I'll talk to Sharon, and we'll see about, getting this reunion on like this reunion tour going, but I'll let me talk to her first or whatever. So she goes upstairs to pack because she's about to leave. And Vernon comes to check on them, because the last time we had seen Vernon, he was like in the middle, and it was just like, ooh, it looked like it was World War III about to go down, but he had left to let them talk or whatever. So he came back, and Anita's like crying on his shoulders, and she's just telling him like, I can't believe all of this happened. And um uh I hope that I hope we get to do this reunion, because I really want this. I didn't think that I wanted it, but now that it's like within reach, like I really want it or whatever. So she's crying on his shoulders, and that's how it ends. So let's see what else happened. Monday was a pretty like Monday was a pretty chill episode. I'm sorry, not Monday, Tuesday's episode was pretty chill. Um Now we're gonna go to Wednesday's episode. Now Wednesday's episode was pretty good. Wednesday's was pretty good. So we see Haley and Bill, and Haley is still like, being all smug and like towards Chelsea. And this is and I do apologize. This is when Chelsea calls her an orphan and Bill chastises her. I get them mixed up sometimes. Sorry. So again, Haley continues to talk down to Chelsea, and Chelsea was just like she was sitting there. She was keeping it cute and on mute. She ain't saying nothing as this girl was just going in, like not going in on her, but just like basically saying you need to get over the fact that your parents aren't together, and I'm here now, and we're family, and there's new people, like there's gonna be a new child and all this other stuff or whatever. And she was just like, it would be easier if you just got over it. And Chelsea was just like, she was just like, I'm not here to make nothing easy for you or him. And I'm going to keep my foot firmly on both of y'all's necks. And she leaves. And as she leaves, Martin shows up. So Martin is just like, oh, Bill, we got to talk. And Haley was just like, okay, well, I have some voicemails that I have to check, so I will be. And Bill's just like, no, she can stay. Whatever we got to talk about, she can hear. And Martin was just like, no, she can't. Haley, go on about your business. So Haley leaves to go check the voicemail. So she's out in the foyer, and she's sitting there on her phone or whatever, and Jacob and Naomi come out, and they've just played basketball or whatever, and they're laughing and giggling. And Naomi, I mean, uh what's that girl's name? Haley. She like looks back, and she's just like, oh, like like, oh, I wish mine was my friend, or whatever. So Naomi sees her, and she was just like, so she goes to her, and she was just like, hi, are you here with my dad? And she's just like, yeah, we're celebrating. She's just like, okay, well, good for you. And then she goes to walk away. And Haley was just like, don't you want to know what we're celebrating? And Naomi's just like, no, I don't. Y'all have at it. Boo. And Haley's just like, I don't know why I even try. And it's just like, girl, you have yet to make up to them what you have done. Like, there's and honestly, there's nothing that you can do to make it up to them for what you've done. You came in like a wrecking ball and wrecked their lives. You cheated with your best friend's dad. You cheated with the woman who took you in and treated you like a daughter. And you're acting like, we just fell in love. We just fell in love. And it's just like, no, y'all fell in lust. That's what y'all did. Y'all fell in lust. Ain't no love. Like, that man been cheating on Dani. You ain't the first, and you're not going to be the last. He's going to continue to cheat. He's a cheater, pumpkin eater. Like, he's already cheated on you. He's kissed Dani, and you don't know about it. So you just gonna you at the end of the day, you gonna be the one that's gonna have egg on your face. And you think because you pregnant, or so you say, and you're carrying his child, he's gonna treat you any differently? Like Erica De Niro TV be saying, read the Yelp reviews. You already know what the Yelp reviews are because you are part of the Yelp reviews. You are the cheater too. Like, so I don't understand why you think that any of these ladies want to have any type of relationship with you. Get a clue, please, and get one fast. So Naomi is just like, I don't care what you celebrating. Do you? I don't care. Haley's just like, don't you miss our friendship? And she was just like, no, I don't miss our friendship. You traded it in for my dad. Have fun with it. Have at it. Like, and she's just like, we're family now. And Naomi is just like, unfortunately. And so Hades just like, I don't know why I tried. I'm good. And Naomi's just like, okay, good. Bye. And she leaves. Her and Jacob leave. So we go back to Bill and Martin. And Martin is just like, going ham on Bill. She was just like, "Why would you say anything to my husband? Like, what is wrong with you?" And basically just going ham on him or whatever. And as he's doing all of that, we see that guy who was following, I think it's the same guy, the guy who was following Martin after the, was it? Yes, the guy who was following Martin. We seen him the first time we saw him was at Orphe Jean's after the anniversary party when Leslie went in on Eva, and Martin and Vernon and Jan were there. That guy that we seen in the corner, we see him again dressed up as a waiter, and he's standing around. Or at first he came to the table with Bill and Martin, and Martin was just like, go somewhere else. So he walks to a different table, and he's like slowly like pretending to clean up as he's listening to them. And so they're basically talking about like with talking about without talking about the secret that they have or whatever. And Bill like puts Martin in his place, like, you ain't gonna do nothing because you want me to keep your secret. So whatever. So Haley comes back and Haley sits down, and he was like, "Oh, didn't you hear the good news?" He was just like, "Oh, Martin's leaving, but before you go, didn't you hear the good news? Haley's pregnant." So when he says this, when I tell you the guy playing Martin, this scene right here was phenomenal. I hope he wins an Emmy for this. This scene was his line delivery for everything. So he goes in on them. Like he just basically like lets Haley know, you ain't ish, you ain't ever gonna be ish, and the man that you with ain't ish, ain't ever gonna be ish. And he what he said? He said, uh he go tell Haley, "Do you want to know about the father of your blessing?" That line was hilarious. The way he said it, "the father of your blessing." I was too through. And then he like again he reads them for Phil, and then Bill says something to Haley. He was just like, "Are you okay?" Because he slams his hand on the Martin slams his hand on the table, and they both jump. And Bill asks Haley, "Are you okay?" And Haley doesn't say nothing. And Martin's just like, "Answer him, Haley. Are you okay? Are you okay?" This scene was hilarious. So he goes in, like, again, he reads him for filth. He says something, and Bill jumps up, and like they start to tussle. And then we get to the next scene, and it was all a dream. So it was all a dream. So none of that happened. I was just like, man, I really wanted him to like, I really want somebody to go in on Bill and Haley, because they are riding on a cloud like they ain't done nothing. And it's so annoying because y'all are not like, no, y'all are trash. And I need somebody to knock them down a peg. Like I really need somebody to knock them down a peg. So Martin leaves, and Bill and Haley decide to go home. So again, I don't know, because initially when they first got there, the way they were making it sound, it was like they were going to a function, or they were going to some gala, or whatever, and or they were at the gala at the, I don't know, but they decide not to. They go home after this or whatever. So they go home, and um what happens when they go home, and then Dani shows up. So we're gonna get to her. Let's see what happened. So yes, so Chelsea, she leaves. So when she left her dad and Bill, she goes straight to Dani's. And Dani is just like talking a mile a minute, like just talking, talking, talking. Like, I was just about to call you. Da 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 da. I wanted to tell you something like this. influencer guy reached out to me and all this other stuff. And Chelsea's just like, I gotta tell you something. And she'll just like, but and just kept talking. And she'll just like, oh my God, will you stop talking? And she'll just like, baby, what do you want to tell me? Like, spit it out. And she's like, I've been trying to, but you won't let me get a word in edgewise. And she was just like, honey, spit it out. Like, I like you are you gonna tell me that you pregnant? And she's just like, I'm not, but Haley is. And I was just like, Chelsea, this is why I think you are your mama's biggest op. Why would you go and tell her that that Haley is pregnant when you know this lady crashes out whenever that man and that woman is mentioned? And I wish Dani would not crash out behind that man and that woman or that child, honestly. Because it's like, so Chelsea, you come there, you tell your mama that the side woman, the woman who stole your dad from her is now pregnant. And then you have the audacity to say that your mama be doing too much because she crashed out. And it's just like, you knew she was going to crash out. Just the other day, you thought she crashed out when she kissed her best friend because that man and that woman was there. So why would you go and tell her this? You like to see your mama crash out. You do. Because why, oh, why would you go and tell her? You should have just let her find out with the rest of the world. That is not something that I would have told her. Or I would have had Naomi tell her. I would have went and told Naomi and then had Naomi tell her, because Naomi knows how to keep your mom calm. You don't. You just like Dani. You crash out just like Dani do, because you crashed out behind being dumped by Allison, and you ain't even go on a date with that girl. You was messing around with her and her husband, and then got mad that she wouldn't leave her husband for you. You crashed out behind that, but now you saying your mama doing too much? Stop, Chelsea. I love you, but you starting to get on my bad side, because you moving real suspect. You moving real sus. Like you really are. Like you your mama's biggest op. Stop it. You didn't open the door for Leslie to come into the Grand's house. Now you over here opening the door for your mama to crash out. And she crashed out. But she did a funny crash out because she was reading them too. She said, this lady had some lines. She said, what did she say? She said you don't just develop a taste for AARP, talking about Haley. And then she said, ain't nothing sadder than an aging lawyer, trophy wife, and a designer baby. It's like a midlife bingo crisis. A bingo card. She said a midlife crisis bingo card. I said, Dani, what? That girl is a mess. So she starts weaving these thoughts in her head as she's saying all of this, and she's just like, um she's not pregnant. She didn't put no announcement because she was looking for an announcement, because again, like, of course, if Haley, again, I don't believe she's pregnant, but we shall see. Because I feel like, just like Dani said, if she was pregnant, she would want the world to know. She would have put that in an announcement. She would have, like, the way she was acting, trying to have this baby, like, you don't just blurt that out. Like, you would have planned something. You would have got you a onesie. You would have got you a skyrider, something. You don't just, I'm pregnant. Like, that's not how. No, 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 no. The way that you went and caught this man, no, 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 no. That's not how you gonna tell him that you're pregnant. But then again, that's how you told him the first time. You thought you were pregnant. No, 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 no. You would have did the most, because you need to get your hooks into this man, because if y'all were to end today, you would walk away with nothing, honestly. So yes, you would have made a big hoopla of the fact that you're pregnant, but you didn't. So it's just like, I'm with Dani. I'm with Dani. I don't think you're pregnant. I honestly think you lying about this pregnancy, and then you're going to lose the baby, and you're going to blame it on Dani. You're going to fall down some stairs with Dani. You're going to pull a Annie Dutton. That's what you're going to do. You're gonna fall down some stairs with Dani up top, and it's gonna make it look like Dani made you lose a baby. Or if you are pregnant, what I would like them to do is, I would like, if they would, I think what they could do is, if she is pregnant, let her lose a baby, but fake the pregnancy because she finds out that Jacob and Naomi pregnant, and she steals their baby. Or she could carry the baby to term, and then she loses the baby's stillborn, and she switches the baby so Jacob and Naomi think they got a stillborn, but it's really the baby that Bill and Haley are raising. I could be okay with that too. Any one of those scenarios I could be okay with, because I need Haley to get her comings. I need Haley to get her come up. I need something to happen to Haley, because you have gotten off scot-free with what you did. That one punch that Dani gave you ain't nothing. You deserve more, because you have a lot of audacity, and the way you was talking to Chelsea this episode and the previous episode, and Bill sat there, both of y'all deserve nothing but hell. Both of y'all. Cause Bill, you trying to rebuild your relationship with your daughter, and you let this girl talk to her like that, and you just sat there with, she's right. She's right. That's how you sat there while that girl was talking to your daughter dirty? No, sir. And I hope Chelsea never gives you the time of day. I hope she never forgives you. Honestly. That's my hope. But we shall see. So Dani don't believe it, and she goes to Bill and Haley's. And she walks in because Bill never changed the code. And it's just like, Bill ain't changed the code, Haley. Are you listening? She's walked into this house how many times, and Bill still has yet to change the code. Matter of fact, you haven't changed the code either. Y'all like when Dani just pops up on y'all. Bill especially, because Bill misses that old thing. He especially likes when she pops up. She does. And you don't see it because you're dumb. So, what else we have? What else happened this episode? Okay, so we see Tyrell and Jessica. So last episode we saw them kissing, and we see them continue kissing, and he pulls away, and she's just like, is everything okay? And he basically tells her like, what's up? Like, this all just seems fishy. It just seems weird, because like all of a sudden you like, now you want to get to know me, or just trying to talk to me. And it was just like he was asking the same questions as I was asking, because I was also like, is she trying to play this man? Like, what's up? Like, because it just seemed weird that she would just all of a sudden break up with her boyfriend and then start talking to Tyrell. Like, just seemed fishy. So again, he's asking like, are you playing me? Like, you trying to make me let my guard down, and then you're going to um take another picture of me when I'm in a in a worse position or compromising position. And she's just like, oh really, that's where we're at, that's what you think? And so she goes off on him, and as she's going off on him, Smitty walks in, and then she leaves, and she was just like, I'm good, deuces. So she dips. Smitty asks Tyrell like, what happened? And he's like, he doesn't want to talk about it. So he runs upstairs. We see him in his bedroom, and he's playing chess, and Samantha comes in and she gives him a pep talk or whatever. So we go back downstairs, and we see Martin coming home, and Smitty is just like, so where'd you go? And he was just like, oh, I went to go do the vote or whatever. And he was just like, yeah, no, I know you didn't go, because I got that alert before you even left that it was either the vote was already approved or it got postponed or whatever. So where did you really go? So basically Martin tells him like, I went to go see Bill. And he was just like, why didn't you tell me that you were going to go see Bill? Like, what happened? And so Martin tells him like, he tells him that I told him to leave you alone, and like just went off on him for like, approaching you and all this other stuff. So he tells him that, but he doesn't tell him like how Bill like goes off on him, or they go back and forth about the whole reason why he approached, which was a secret or whatever. So then Martin tells Smitty about the dream that he had, because he was just like, I really like, like I really wanted to do that. And Smitty is just like, but did you? And he was just like, no, I didn't. But he's gonna leave you alone. And he also told me that Haley's pregnant, and I don't want to be around when Aunt Dani finds out. So then we see, oh God, we see Ashley and Derek. So they're on their solo date, and they've decided not to live together. He wants to give back the key, and he he wants to give back the key. She's saying keep it. He's making remarks about her being tidy. She feels some type of way. She's saying like, don't you want more? And he's like, yeah, we'll figure out what our more is. We don't have to follow the same um blueprint as other people. We'll figure out what our more looks like, basically. Then we see Naomi and Jacob come in, so they all join together. So they're on like a double date, which whatever. So they let them know that they're not moving in with each other, and Naomi tells them, it's part of growing pains. Like, I had it with him. I was one who did all the compromising because he didn't know that we were having issue. He thinks he's a Boy Scout and all this other stuff. And so then they start talking about June and how she had to have her surgery and all this other stuff. So then they all decide to leave, but Jacob has to stay back because because Kat called him and she wants to meet him. So that's how Wednesday's episode ends. Now, I hope that we have more to Derek than what we have now. I hope he is Joey's child. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I had a whole spill about Derek and Ashley and all of that, but my mic died, so that's a sign I need to move on from them. So hopefully we get more to Derek because he's boring. Ashley's boring. Hopefully we get more to her. Ugh, both of them are boring, but I digress. But if you like what you see, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.